When we look in the mirror, we see a face that is instantly recognizable as human. It is relatively flat, with a small jaw tucked neatly beneath our prominent forehead. This facial structure is something we often take for granted, yet it is a unique chapter in the grand story of our evolution. To truly appreciate our own faces, we must compare them to those of our closest living relatives, the chimpanzees, and our extinct cousins, the Neanderthals. A chimpanzee's face is dominated by a powerful projecting snout, an essential tool for its lifestyle. A Neanderthal face, while more human-like, was also much more robust, with a broad nose, a projecting mid-face, and a strong jaw that lacked a prominent chin. Each of these faces tells a different story about adaptation, diet, and development. The differences are not merely superficial, they are deeply rooted in our skeletal architecture. The bones that form our faces are a product of a complex developmental dance that begins in the womb and continues through childhood and adolescence. For chimpanzees and Neanderthals, this dance resulted in a face that was built for power and function, perfectly adapted to a physically demanding world. Their skulls were low and long, with heavy brow ridges arching over their eyes. The middle part of their faces jutted forward, creating a distinctive profile that is a stark contrast to our own. Understanding these differences is the first step in a fascinating journey to uncover how and why our faces evolved to look the way they do today. This journey takes us back hundreds of thousands of years into a world where multiple human species walked the earth. Neanderthals, who thrived across Europe and Asia, were incredibly successful hunters, surviving harsh Ice Age climates. Their powerful faces and large jaws were likely adaptations for processing tough foods, and perhaps even for using their teeth as a kind of third hand for gripping objects. Chimpanzees, on the other hand, provide a living baseline, a glimpse into the kind of facial structure our more distant ancestors might have possessed. Their faces are a testament to the raw physical demands of life in the wild, long before the advent of cooking and sophisticated tools that would come to define the human experience. By placing our own faces within this evolutionary context, we begin to see them not as a default, but as a highly derived and specialized outcome. The delicate, or gracile, nature of the modern human face is an anomaly when viewed against the backdrop of our primate family tree. Why did our ancestors deviate from this robust template? Why did our faces become smaller, flatter, and less imposing? The answers lie hidden within the growth patterns of our bones, a biological blueprint that scientists are only now beginning to fully decipher. This quest to understand our own reflection is, in essence, a quest to understand what it means to be human. To solve the puzzle of our unique facial structure, scientists have turned to an impressive array of modern technologies, moving far beyond simple measurements with calipers. A groundbreaking 2025 study from the Max Planck Institute for Evolutionary Anthropology has provided some of the most compelling evidence to date. Researchers embarked on a massive undertaking, analyzing a collection of skulls that spanned species and ages. They examined 128 modern human skulls, 13 precious Neanderthal skulls, and 33 chimpanzee skulls, including individuals from infancy all the way through to adulthood. This allowed them to create a virtual timeline of how the face changes and grows in each distinct group. The core of this investigation relied on high-resolution three-dimensional scans and sophisticated geometric modeling. These techniques allowed the scientific team to map the surface of each skull with incredible precision, tracking subtle changes in shape and size at different life stages. It was like creating a time-lapse film of facial evolution, but one that stretched across millennia. By comparing the growth trajectories of a human child to that of a young Neanderthal or chimpanzee, the researchers could pinpoint the exact moments when their developmental paths diverged. This method provides a dynamic view of the skull, treating it not as a static object, but as a structure that is constantly being shaped and remodeled by underlying biological processes. Beyond the overall shape, The study delved even deeper, examining the microscopic activity on the bone surfaces. The team analyzed the patterns of bone deposition, where new bone tissue is added, and bone resorption, where old tissue is broken down and removed. This cellular-level view is crucial because it reveals the engine driving the growth. For a face to grow forward, for example, you need more bone being deposited on the front surfaces and more resorption on the back. By mapping this activity across the skulls, the researchers could see exactly how a Neanderthal's face was pushed outward, while a human's remained more retracted and vertical. This meticulous approach allowed the scientists to test a key idea. Is the difference in our adult faces a result of different starting points as infants, or is it due to different growth patterns over time? The evidence overwhelmingly pointed to the latter. The simulations they ran were telling. When they applied a human growth pattern to a Neanderthal infant's skull, the model developed a face that was strikingly more human-like, smaller and flatter. Conversely, applying a Neanderthal growth pattern to a human infant's skull resulted in a large, projecting face. This confirmed that the tempo and duration of growth are the critical factors that separate us from our ancient cousins. The most significant discovery to emerge from this advanced analysis was the identification of a crucial turning point in human development. The research revealed that in both Neanderthals and chimpanzees, the face continues to grow forward and become more robust well into their late teenage years. Their facial skeletons keep expanding, with bone deposition continuing to push the nose and jaw region outwards. This prolonged growth phase results in the prominent, heavy-set features we see in their adult skulls. It is a continuous process of maturation that extends long after other parts of the skeleton have finished growing. For them, adolescence is a time of continued facial expansion. In stark contrast, modern humans experience something entirely different. Our facial growth slows down dramatically and effectively stops around the time of puberty. The relentless forward projection seen in Neanderthals and chimpanzees simply does not happen in our species. As we enter adolescence, the cellular activity responsible for facial expansion declines and then halts. This cessation of growth is the primary reason our faces are so much smaller, flatter, and more delicate than those of Neanderthals. We are, in a facial sense, frozen in a more youthful or paidomorphic state. Our faces retain a more juvenile shape relative to our extinct relatives. This developmental cutoff has profound consequences for our appearance. The area around our nose and upper jaw, which in a Neanderthal would continue to billow outwards, remains tucked under the frontal lobe of our brain. This creates our characteristically flat mid-face and the distinct hollow, known as the canine fossa, on either side of our nose, a feature absent in Neanderthals. Our lower jaw is also much smaller, and, because it sits on a retracted facial base, our chin juts out as a prominent, uniquely human feature. It turns out that our chin isn't something we grew, but something that was revealed as the rest of our face stayed behind. The implications of this finding are immense. It reframes the question of human evolution. Instead of asking what new features humans evolved, we should perhaps be asking what developmental processes we lost or modified. The gracile human face is not the result of an entirely new genetic plan, but rather a change in the timing and duration of an ancient one. We share a common developmental heritage with Neanderthals, but a crucial tweak in our biological clock during adolescence set us on a completely different path, leading to the faces we see in the mirror today. It is a powerful example of how small changes in development can lead to major evolutionary transformations. Understanding how our faces became smaller is one thing. Understanding why is another, more complex question. Scientists have several competing hypotheses, and the truth likely involves a combination of factors. One of the most prominent explanations relates to diet and technology. As our ancestors developed more sophisticated stone tools and, crucially, learned to control fire for cooking, our food became much softer and easier to process. This reduced the biomechanical stress on our jaws and teeth. A massive, powerful face was no longer necessary for tearing apart tough meat or grinding down fibrous plants, so evolutionary pressure to maintain such a robust structure may have relaxed. Another compelling idea links our facial changes to the dramatic expansion of our brains. Over the last 2 million years, the human brain has tripled in size. This required a significant reorganization of the skull. To accommodate a larger, more globular brain case, the base of the skull had to flex and shorten. This architectural shift may have had a domino effect, pulling the entire facial structure downward and tucking it underneath the expanding frontal lobe. In this scenario, the flattening of our face was less an adaptation in its own right and more of a secondary consequence of prioritizing brain power. Our faces got out of the way to make room for our growing intellect. Finally, there is the more speculative but intriguing self-domestication hypothesis. This theory suggests that as human societies became more complex, there was an evolutionary advantage for individuals who were more cooperative and less aggressive. We may have selected for more sociable traits, and just as domesticated animals like dogs or silver foxes develop flatter faces, smaller teeth, and more juvenile features as they are bred for tameness, humans may have undergone a similar process. A less intimidating, more gracile face could have been an honest signal of a more pro-social disposition, favoring a new kind of survival based on collaboration rather than brute force. Ultimately, studying the development of our faces provides a unique window into our evolutionary journey. It highlights that we are a product of intricate changes in growth and timing. Whether driven by the soft foods of our first kitchens, the expansion of our incredible brains, or our ancestors' choice to favor cooperation, the modern human face tells a profound story. It is the story of a shift away from the physical robustness of our ancestors towards a new set of adaptations rooted in technology, intellect, and social complexity. Unraveling this story not only explains our appearance, but also helps us understand the very essence of what made us human.